Right then, ladies, the gap. Why knowing what to do doesn't mean you'll actually do it. Okay? So I think this should resonate with a lot of people out there, let's be honest. Okay? So, the gap. The universal truth. So, in the comments, hands up, who knows they should be drinking more water? Usually, it's pretty much every one of us, right? Keep your hand up if you're actually doing it consistently, and a few hands are going to drop. Okay? So why is it when we know we should be doing stuff that we know it's going to make us feel better, it's going to be better for results, it's better for our health, it's better for us in general? Why is it when we know something is good for us, currently shoveling food in your car? Yeah, so why is it when we know something's good for us and we should be doing it, why don't we do it? And that is the gap. That's the gap we're going to try and fill tonight. Going to try and understand it a bit more to why it is that sometimes we don't do things that we know we really should be. Okay? Firstly, it's not about intelligence. I hear this a lot from clients. I just feel so stupid. I know what I should be doing. Like, what's wrong with me? It's not about intelligence. You're smart. Most of you are smart, aren't you, Aaron? You built careers, raised families, solved complex problems, got through a lot of shit in your life. You know what's healthy, okay? We know what foods are healthy. We know what aren't particularly good for us. Information isn't the issue here. Information can be at our fingertips like that. And especially you guys that are coached by me, you've got intelligence and information and experience literally on tap. So that's not the reason why we're not doing stuff that we need to do at times. Because knowing isn't always doing. These are two completely different things, aren't they? So, one of the things that we can get caught in is the information trap. Okay. Podcasts, commuting to work, consuming content constantly, whether that be social media or anything else, articles, reading articles about health and wellness and all that kind of stuff. Instagram before bed, following, health accounts, other coaches' accounts. In fact, you better not be following any other coaches' accounts. I should check that, shouldn't I? If I find any of you following any other coaches but myself, I'll kill you. You know what? I keep forgetting I'm recording this for my YouTube. I'm gonna sound like a right psychopath, but still, if I find you, you're dead. Um, you're collecting knowledge like it's gonna save you, but it doesn't. Okay? Even listening to friends, and I will say this, friends and family, never take advice off someone who's not where you want to be or never has. But sometimes we do, and if you think about it, that's mental, isn't it? Okay? So, it's not about what. The gap isn't about what to do. It's about three critical factors. One of which we've gone through multiple times because it's so important, it's absolutely vital, is identity. Who you believe you are versus who you need to become. Okay? Have a think about that. If you consistently tell yourself you're someone who always quits on a diet, who always ends up skipping training sessions, who always fails at this, if you consistently tell yourself that, you will always be that. Okay? Your environment, another major one. The systems around you that make behavior easy or hard. And that can be your environment as far as kind of your actual environment, your home life, your work life, or the environment of the people that you surround yourself with. And I think this is why our tribe is so important to a lot of people because they haven't got the correct environment around them. And it's not as if we need to go, all right, okay, all my friends and family, I'm out. I'm not speaking to you ever again because you're not kind of aligning with my future plans to be a fitter, stronger, healthier version of myself so you can all get to fuck. All right? Not saying you have to do that, but the environment's important. Okay? And one that we haven't really gone through before that I might actually put something together is permission. what you allow yourself to prioritize. I suppose I'm talking about the kind of the guilt we feel when we do things just for ourselves, especially we've got family, we've got friends, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Erin, I've just checked the chat. You've only been back 5 minutes. You're already swearing at me. What the hell? Um, but yeah, identity, environment, permission. So, why people struggle? Here's the most common ones, I feel anyway. Overthink into paralysis. So, paralysis through analysis. Basically means you're overthinking things so much. Like, is this the right thing? And am I getting this completely correct? Is this how I should be doing? Before you know it, you're thinking about it so hard that the action becomes even more difficult. All right. So, paralysis through analysis. So, seek perfect solutions. That's quite similar to the paralysis one, really, isn't it? That you never actually get started because you're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect situation, the perfect Monday for it all to become great. Understand without buying in, okay? Intellectual grasp, but emotionally resist. So basically, you understand what you need to be doing, but for some reason, you're struggling to actually take action with the information that you've got. And productive procrastination. Use learning as a substitute for doing. Right, now this one, I have definitely been guilty of this in the past. When I was going through a really tough time and my head was firmly up my own arse, and I was struggling with my mental health, struggling with depression, self-belief, all that kind of stuff. I just, like, I really wanted to help myself. Like, I wasn't down and out because I was so willing to do anything it took to put myself in a better position. So I read books on books, I did courses, I did seminars, listened to podcasts, motivational shit, like daily, all day, every day. And some of it helped to a certain degree. But I was that busy doing all that shit that I was kind of neglecting what I actually should have been doing. That was taking action and becoming that identity. If I wanted to regain my confidence again, a podcast wasn't going to do that. I had to start acting as if I had that confidence or someone who did have confidence. How would they act? What would they do with their day? They wouldn't spend it fucking reading books about it. They'd be out doing it. All right? Because learning is safe and action is vulnerable. Because sometimes, and I felt this myself, I was consuming all this stuff. I felt productive. I felt I was learning stuff. I was learning more about psychology. I was learning more about my mind. I dug deep into my ADHD, so I had an understanding. And that some bits were important, but it was safe. It's a little safe space. If I took action and things went tits up, that's where the fear was. So consuming that information felt productive without any discomfort of actually doing any work, without actual any change. So here's how we close that fucking gap between knowing what you should be doing and fucking doing it. All right? Whatever that might be to you. So in fact, in the comments quickly, what's that one gap you'd love to close? What's that one thing that you know you should be doing more of, or that you might need to start doing, or restart doing? What's that one thing that at the minute seems to be a bit of a blocker, a bit of a gap between you actually knowing what you should be doing or knowing what you want to be doing to actually doing that thing or doing more of it? What is it? Get it in the inbox, get in the chat. Fast. Mhm. You haven't done it in a minute. I'm going to get one of you to actually talk about it, but you're right on the spot. What we got? Put myself first. I'm feeling no guilt. Okay. Quick one, Aaron, while waiting for the others. That guilt of putting yourself first, who would be the person that made you feel guilty? Have you ever asked yourself why someone would think that that was selfish or why you'd be made to feel guilty? Or is our truth the fact that, no one would make you feel guilty for working on yourself? Most people around us, they'd be cared, they'd actually really want us to do it. And maybe we've been using it as a bit of a cushion and a bit of an excuse not to do the work. These mindset sessions are here to be a bit uncomfortable, ask ourselves some uncomfortable questions and be completely honest with ourselves. So closing the gap. Action creates belief. You don't believe your way into action, you act your way into belief. So stop waiting to feel ready. 40% effort today beats 100% effort that never happens. Who agrees with that? Sometimes, rather than just thinking about it and waiting and expecting this motivation to crawl out of our arse and drag us into the direction we want to go, it's just a case of taking action, however small that action might be, however ready we might feel at the time. Taking action creates the belief that we want. So your environment is stronger than discipline. Okay? If you remove friction, things become a lot easier. And just an example there, training gear laid out, water bottle on desk, meals prepped. These are massive, by the way. If you're a busy person, creating an environment that works for you or creating an environment that works for the situation is huge. So, for instance, a couple of days a week, I have a one-to-one client or clients at 6 in the morning. I now live at least half an hour away from the gym that I do those sessions in now. I know that I need breakfast. I know I need to wake up properly. I know I need to drink some water, take my supplements, all that kind of stuff. So I've got to wake up at probably about 4:15 on those days, which at this time of year is fucking hard. So I make it easier for myself. And it's very simple, takes hardly any time. I put my clothes and all my training gear all laid out downstairs. Okay? They're there. I've got a training bag packed with a protein shake, my water, maybe a bit of fruit, something I can grab on the go, something that I can eat or drink on the way to the gym. If I need to do any work, my laptop is already packed in the bag. Everything's ready to go. All right, even my keys, just in case for that instant that I'm fucking searching around for my keys, and that's the thing that makes me late, and that's the thing that creates stress. Okay, so everything is all ready to go. I've done as much as I can to prep, to save time, and to create an environment. Same with my office. I always spend the time wherever I am, however I have my office. It's always laid out in a certain way to create a place of focus. Okay, I've got multiple screens because it makes it easier for me to focus. I've got something that plays nice focus music. I've got an incense burner behind there to create a sense of relaxation and again, kind of flow focus. I've worked what works with me for the environment, so I change it to the best of my ability. Carrie, I can't wait to meal prep this Sunday. My kitchen is done tomorrow. Ah, love it. Nothing better. Sarah, how we doing, mate? Environment over willpower. I need to create an environment to make it easier to achieve success. I could prep better the night before, having things out ready for the next day, rather than think I'll just get up a bit early and do it. Yeah, honestly, Sarah, like the difference is crazy. Like Amy even does it. So every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night, she has obviously does the classes in the morning, doesn't she? So it's something so simple to get the spotlight out, get the phone holder out, lay out the stuff. I mean, that takes 2 minutes. Those 2 minutes could have been done in the morning, really. But it's that intention, it's setting that and creating that environment makes a big difference. Erin, do you put your phone on the other side of the room? I have had to do, Erin. So Erin posted the other day that she said the whole house got up late, so she didn't get a workout done. And I put a little snarky comment saying, set your alarm. What are you doing? But again, I said to her, look. if you kind of had one of them mornings where you woke up and just slapped your phone on snooze or turned it off and went back to sleep and caused chaos because you end up waking up late, change the environment. Put your phone on a different side of the room. So you have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. Okay? Set multiple alarms if you have to. Put some water by your bed so as soon as you get up, you drink that water, you wake yourself up. Do you know what I mean? You're setting yourself up for success, not failure. So number three, identity work. Who do you need to become? Not what to do, who to be. Because your actions will always align with your identity eventually. And this can work both ways, ladies, all right? Your actions will always align with your identity eventually. So, like I said, if you constantly do the actions of someone who skips workouts, who fails on a diet, who quits when things get tough, who constantly walks away from accountability and responsibility, that's going to be your identity. If you want to move away from that, you're going to have to change your identity. Okay? Permission protocols. Explicit permission to prioritize yourself. Make the rule training sessions are sacred. Okay? Same as client meetings, same as going to work on time. Keep promises to yourself. Because here's the thing, ladies, you more than likely make a lot of promises every single day and keep them no matter what. Yeah? You promise your employer you're going to be at work at this time on these days, and you're going to work until this time, and then you can go home. You promise them that, and they promise to pay you for it. But you promise them you do that, and you do that. Yeah? You promise your kids that you're going to take care of them and you're going to make sure they're ready for school. Not kind of a vocal promise, maybe, but that's what we do when we have kids, and we promise them that we're going to take care of them and do all the things that they need to keep them safe, keep them happy, keep them healthy. You promise your partner that you'll be a good partner. You'll be faithful, you'll be kind of that person for them, all that kind of shit. So you make promises and keep promises to loads of other people. Is it not time you start keeping the promises that you made to yourself? Promises that you would prioritize your health, that you would get in the shape that you deserve to be in, that you would have that level of body confidence, energy, happiness, health that you deserve. Who here needs to start keeping promises? Or who here, when they heard me talking about promises and breaking promise to yourself, did you feel, oh yeah, I do that? I didn't realize that I'm actually breaking promises to myself. Every time I say I'll do something for myself and I don't do it, I'm breaking a promise to myself, and that's actually quite sad, isn't it? But we can change that, and that's what we're looking to do. So here it is. Will you do it? We know what to do, but will you do it? The gap doesn't close with more information, it closes with action. Carrie, me, I nearly broke that promise today if it hadn't been for that push you gave me. Well, it's just a reminder, wasn't it, Kaz? Yeah, you've been doing excellent. But maybe sometimes our old identity starts creeping in and saying, oh, remember me? And we need to tell them to shut the fuck up and get away. That's not who we want to be, and it's not who we're going to be. So this is what I want you to do. Name your gap. Okay? So I've just asked you to do that, but what everyone that's called, do that now. Okay? So Carrie mentioned it was no, sorry, Erin put her gap is putting herself first and feeling no guilt. She knows she should be doing it. That's her gap. Where's the biggest disconnect between knowing and doing? Okay. So first of all, name your gap. What is it? What's the thing you struggle most to actually take action on? That you know what to do, you know how to do it, but for one reason or something you can't really put your finger on, you're not doing it. And it could be as simple as not drinking enough water, not hitting that step target. Okay. Skipping a few workouts, Right, get it in the text. Let's go. Weekends are the massive gap. Okay, hold on to that. Have you all gone to sleep? Erin, Katie, Sarah, get it in. Let's go. What is your gap? What's that one thing? And if there's no gap, let me know. No gap in anything. I know it. I'm doing it. Happy days. Being organized. Oh, sorry, be disorganized. Okay, hold on to that, Sarah. We've got the weekends are a massive gap, which I think is going to be quite a common one. I would say that's mine actually. One of mine anyway. Sarah's is being disorganized. See if Erin's fell asleep. Mm-mm-mm. Right, let's crack on. You two are useless. Right, so I want you to identify the barrier. Is it an identity thing? Is it something you feel like you've always said you are or you do? Is it the environment? Could we change the environment to make it better? Is it permission? Do you feel like you should be giving yourself more permission to close this gap? So, Carrie, if your weekend's the massive gap, obviously I know you've got kids, so is it something where you feel a bit guilty because that's the time you spend with your kids? Could you be doing both? Could you be doing something that incorporates what you want to be a bit more at the weekend? Either be more active, be more sensible on food. Would you need to kind of prep for the weekend as well? Are we only prepping Monday to Friday, but could we actually prep for the week and make things a bit kind of tighter on nutrition? Sarah being disorganized, so would that be an environment thing? Could we be putting things in place? Could we be doing more prep, not just food prep, but like I said, getting your gym kit out? Could it mean scheduling your workouts and keeping them in stone? Could we be giving ourselves a bit more permission to actually be that organized person? Right, Aaron, being more accountable at the weekend. So yeah, kind of what Carrie mentioned there. Carrie, I could be doing both, but weather is shit. Kids are up my arse. Don't know how to breathe on a weekend. Hey, there's no such thing as bad weather, mate. Just bad clothing. Get them fuckers out the house. Take charge. You know, you can sit and play on your PlayStation or your fucking phones all day, but before we do that, I need to get my steps in. You need to move your asses. So let's get that done first. Let's wake up, get out there, get some fresh air, and then we can all kind of slouch in for the rest of the day. That's what I love doing on the weekend. Getting out, getting a walk done, getting on the bikes for a bit, nice healthy breakfast. And then once that's done, once I've had a bit of activity, I've started the day with some better nutrition, do what we want. I'm gonna sit on your arse all day, let's sit on our arse all day. When I'm working a weekend, I'm 100% on plan, but at weekends, I'm not there, so busy with the kids. I feel like I lose my idea. Yeah, again, it's very similar to Carrie's. I can see that, Aaron. But again, do we need to drop some non-negotiables in at the weekend? Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to go to the gym at the weekend because, I want to spend time with the kids. But they need to realize that I'm on a fucking mission and it's good for us. And I'm going to show them that I actually enjoy this and I don't see it as a chore. So before we do anything else, we're going to be doing this. And it might be raining, but we're waterproof. Okay. Right, tell my kids not supposed to fuck up. Well, that's what you have to do, Erin. That's you asking for permission, isn't it? Exactly what we're talking about. Sarah, environment, yeah. Need to manage my time better and prioritize prep the night before. It's taking time, but food prep is sorted, yeah. Need to prep water and get clothes out ready to work, yeah. Like some of these tasks, especially when it comes to environment and prep and stuff, is going to feel a bit silly at times. But if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to you. So like Sarah said then, the water, prep water. People think, well, what do you need to prep water for? But it's true. So I don't like drinking out of 2 litre bottles of water. I don't like drinking out of them in jugs. I end up losing them and losing them. So what I do is fill up these 3 glass litre bottles of water. And I have one by my bed. I'll have one in the fridge. And I'll leave one out in the kitchen or the living room or my office. That's me changing the environment of it. Because I know I'm always going to either walk past it, I'm going to have it here, and it's where I need it to be. Very simple change. But it's the difference for me drinking 1 litre of water a day or 3 litres. Okay? Same with prepping food. At any time that I go into that fridge, there needs to be at least 2 to 3 meals prepped, ready to go. I do not want to get in a stage where I'm having a busy day and all around everywhere, fucking loads of calls, and I open the fridge and nothing's there, and I've got to eat through convenience, or I've got to waste some time fucking doing it. It should be done, right? Best thing I ever got was my Stanley. It's glued to me. Amy bums her Stanley as well. I got her a new one for Christmas actually. Fucking 50 quid water bottle. The hell. So one action. Smallest first step to close the gap by 1%. Not 100%, just 1%. So give me one action for each of your gaps. Just one. What's the first one you're going to do from tonight, in fact? And Erin and Carrie, if you're looking to change things at the weekend, I know it's only Tuesday night, but have a think. What do you need to do for this weekend to be different? Who do you need to speak to? What do you need to organise? Who needs to tell them to piss off? Start putting in motion now. This is what's happening at the weekend. I've organised for us to go for a walk. I've organised for us to do this. Or we are doing this. Or if you're not into it, I'm doing this. Okay? I'm not continuously having weekends where I feel like I'm derailing a bit or I'm taking a couple of steps back. So last one there, like I said, when exactly? Not tomorrow, not this week. When specifically will you do it? In fact, let me think about my gap. What gap do I need to take? I would say my gap at the minute, I would say is steps, general activity, really, in honesty. The days that I'm not coaching people in the gym, like I can be sat working. Obviously, I'm working hard. I know you probably don't believe it, but I do actually work very hard. Uh, but it's very inactive, and sometimes I've got a sore arse from sitting on all day. I know the gap for me is laziness. That's what it is. If I was totally honest, I work hard, but I've definitely got time, at least 45 minutes to an hour, where I could put my headphones on, get outside and go for a walk. I know I'd feel better for it. I could listen to a podcast or a bit of training that I've got to be doing with my mentor. I could kill 2 birds, 1 stone, and I could do that from tomorrow. I am going to do that tomorrow. Carrie, tell the kids to piss off, but I may struggle as Oakley's autistic and ADHD, so they're sure with him. But I'm sure I can figure him out. Yeah, well, maybe just ask him what he'd like to do. Maybe give a choice, a selection. Say that, I'm thinking about doing this at the weekend. Which one do you prefer? Which one do you enjoy most? Erin, I'm going to drag my 14-year-old with me for a walk this weekend and just have some one-on-one time with her and get some steps in. Lovely. Yeah, good. Get out in the morning as well, Erin. Start that weekend how you mean to continue, yeah? So, that's it. You already know what to do. The question isn't what to do. The question is, will you do it? Okay, so this is what I want each of you four to do after we get off this call. And anyone watching this back, do it once you've watched it. Post what your gap is Identify the barrier. Okay. So my gap would be I'm not getting enough steps in. I know I should be being a bit more active in the day on days that I'm stuck in front of the screen. But the barrier is I've just got a bit lazy with it. The weather's crap. I look outside and I think, I don't really fancy it. So the one action and the only action is to feel productive as I'm doing it. So headphones in, continue training, do my educational stuff that I do in the day, and kill two birds, one stone, get it done. And when am I going to do it? I'm going to start tomorrow. And I'm going to do it because otherwise, what we're doing, breaking promises to myself, that's never a good thing. Never something you want to find yourself doing regularly. So yeah, post that into the tribe at some point tonight, ladies, for me. Right then, I'm off. I am knackered. Just hit you in the evening and you're like, oh, right, I'm ready. Ready for bed now. So thanks for joining me, ladies. Really do appreciate it. I hope you got some value out of that. So remember, post your gap, post why it's happening, the action you're going to take, and when you're going to take it. Have a lovely, lovely evening. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.